Hey team, wanted to make a video because someone asked me, well, why a coffee shop? Why a coffee shop? Why do you have to go to a coffee shop to get Wi-Fi? And that is a great question. That's a great point. Someone was like, why don't you go to like McDonald's or something? and I didn't even think of it, which is, thinking where can you go in the community for Wi-Fi? My automatic default is 100% coffee shop because you just need to get a beverage and then you can sit and lounge but sometimes the coffee can be a little more expensive, and so someone was like, why don't you just go to like a fast food restaurant and get something? And so I was surprised, and actually that is a great option because except then I had to explain why I don't even think about fast food more often than not, like just for lounging. It's psychologically, as I've been vegetarian for a very long time, and then I was vegan for 5 years, and so a lot of restaurants, a lot of places, aren't very vegetarian friendly, aren't very vegan friendly. So a lot of the chains, the bigger ones, don't really cater to a lot of alternative, or they don't have a lot of alternative options on their menus. So there might be like one thing, and there's always like a salad, and I've got I I do have a bias against like just ordering a salad when I'm out, because if we're out, at a nice place, you're treating yourself. And I like salad, but I don't love salad. And there's not, like I always say, like, oh, I can make that at home and I could probably make it at home for cheaper, like it's lettuce, as hey, iceberg lettuce, that's pretty much water. So I'm glad we're going out so I can order water with my water. Because normally I don't drink soda beverages. Um, I have one a year, and then because I overdone it for a long time, I was drinking a lot of soda or a lot of caffeine. Um, so generally I'll order a water because it's cost effective. I don't splurge on alcoholic beverages pretty much ever. Just the occasional birthday or maybe a lemonade or something, but most of the time it's just water. So it's just, I kind of stop thinking about those places as places to go just because there aren't vegetarian options, there aren't vegan options. So it's like a lot of fast food places, they might have some vegetarian options, but I automatically salad is not something that'll say, "Ooh, I'll go there. I'll just grab something quick. I'll get a salad." I One of the things I used to say is, put it in a tortilla shell. You got yourself a burrito, automatically that much more tasty, that much more fantastic. Put it in a burrito shell. And then the element of, they have the salads as options, but you have to ask for it without meat, and then you have to pay the full price for if it were to have meat, and so half the substance is gone. You're still paying the full price for, they might supplement with more lettuce. More lettuce is more water. And so it's not like glamorous. It's not something nice. Like, I'm treating myself, to get more lettuce, for if they're not catering to you. So it's not a treat. It's not something like, it's like, I have to be high maintenance, and I don't like being high maintenance. I like, it's not for me. And then it's stressful. It's more food anxiety than like, hey, this is something nice. This is a nice treat. It's like, I don't know what I can get. I'm going to have to ask at the if we're ordering at the table, I'm going to have to ask the waitress. They're not going to know. So then they have to go back to the kitchen and check the boxes, check the ingredients, speak with the chef. And even then they might not know. And then, so then you're like, and then you end up getting like this nice Alfredo where there are still tiny chunks of chicken. Oh, I just picked it out. And so then it's like, but I could have eaten that chicken. I didn't want Alfredo with chicken. I don't eat meat. I don't eat chicken. And so that's one, it's just a mess. And so if it's better to not need the substitutes, and they'll say, I'll just pick it out for you, and I say, yeah, but the juices from the meats are still in there. It's still, there is still that cross contamination, and so, and that might be high maintenance to some people. They say, but if they just don't understand not eating meat in general, not that's okay. But it's better to not have to order things that they have to literally pick the meat out. Some things, it's nicer on the menu if you say add meat for this, add meat, for this extra price, or because then you can just say I'd like this, no meat added, and so that's great. That's fantastic. And then there's not that I'm gonna have to pick this out, or they're gonna pick this out. They're gonna do a crap job, and then I'm gonna end up eating meat that I don't want. When I'm trying to treat myself, have a nice time with my family who's trying to treat me, it's supposed to be a nice celebration. We don't go out a lot. It's not supposed to be something that's just anxiety ridden. Like you're supposed to. It's supposed to be a treat. It's supposed to be something that you want. It's supposed to be something that you don't get that often, and so it's just like it's so a lot of places I kind of don't even think of like going, specifically because there just aren't options like that are low maintenance, that are easy, that are like, yes, I want it, and like there are fast food places like, or there's like a token food, but you don't eat that token food, or like you just don't like it. It's not that much of a treat, not worth going. Like I used to love Burger King. They had this great like garden burger. It had like veggies in it. And now they swapped over to the Beyond Meat burger. And that has zero appeal. I don't want a burger that tastes like meat. I no longer eat meat. And so I don't go there. I can still get French fries, but then there's the internet saying, well, these French fries actually are injected with like a meat juice, or like a, just don't go here, don't come here, if you want the French fries. That's the go-to. Like you can go out and with friends and be like, oh no, there's literally nothing I want to eat on here, because the tomato bisque has, or the tomato basil soup has like a chicken bouillon base, or so you literally can't even eat the tomato soup, or like there's macaroni and cheese, but it's got bacon bits, and they can't pick the bacon bits off, or so then it's like I will, my go-to is always, no, that's okay, I can get French fries, but then of course you have the nuance of the fries are getting fried with meat, and I have been lax on that. Sometimes you can taste it, like if you go and like if they are literally fried directly next to a meat product, you can taste the chicken on like the tater tots, and so then it's like, oh no, they fried this directly next to meat. And but like, how high maintenance are you willing to go for this? How stressed are you willing to get for this extra step? But I need you to fry it without the meat next to it, so that way it literally can't taste like meat. I don't want it to taste like meat. I will, like, I just want a vegetarian. Why is that hard to understand? I don't like meat. I don't want to eat meat. And so, um, and I'm not a naturally aggressive person. I like to go with the flow. I like to be like, yeah, no, let's go. I can literally just eat French fries, and and that's it when we go out. Like they have salads, but like for me, the salads aren't a treat. Salads are not a treat for me. They're low maintenance. They're easy. Um, Put it in a wrap. I don't know why. It's a magic wrap, a magic tortilla, and all of a sudden a wrap is something worth looking at on the menu. Out of like, but for some reason, just salads. Not really that interested. It's not a treat. It's not something nice. It's something I can throw together, at home. But a lot of those places I don't even think of anymore as like places to go. Like I won't think of those places because there's nothing there for me. And it's like most restaurants that aren't, you can find like really great vegetarian options, vegan options in Asian cuisine. You can't find a lot of vegan in like Italian like pizzas, or like there's not a lot of vegan options there, but you have a lot of vegetarian options, so you're fine with the Italian Sub places generally will have your one sub, and then you can also do like a build your own type, or like a PB&J sandwich. I've never actually purchased a restaurant peanut butter jelly. Because again, that seems like something I can make at home, and so I've been like, I'd rather not spend $12 on a PB&J, or because I'm out and I'm treating myself to a $12 PB&J, So, and of course, I don't know if they might spice it up. They might make it special, or it might even be a reduced price. I've just never like been like, that's not gonna be worth my money if I'm out. I want something nice. I want something special. And like I said, put salad in a tortilla, and it's like up the game and it's a nice vegetarian option, a nice vegan option, potentially just get it without the cheese. And then I also like it with the bread on the subs, but some subs you might have to worry about the dairy. The bread stuffs might have dairy, and so then you can't have that. Bagels, some bagels have dairy, some bagels don't, so you have to be conscientious of that. For like if you go to a coffee shop too and you want to grab like a bagel, a lot of them will say vegetarian, but a lot of them don't go into vegan territory. They don't touch vegan foods, and I always say go vegan because vegetarians can eat vegan too, and especially if it's a great vegan recipe. There are so many really great vegan recipes. I say go vegan because vegetarians can eat vegan and vegans can eat vegan. If you go vegetarian, vegans can't eat vegetarian. But you cover two bases if you do vegan, and people who are also lactose intolerant can eat vegan also, versus the vegetarian. So, but of course, vegetarian, you still get to have the oozy goozy yummy delicious cheese, and so it's still nice to have the vegetarian things on your option. But if you have to choose, which you shouldn't have to choose, you should actively just have things on your menu that are for vegetarians specifically and that are for vegans. But if it's not cost effective or something, or if you feel like there's no crowd, there is a crowd. And so, but also it should be like an active part of your thought processes, catering to all diets and all nutritional personages, so, because this is food service, this is your shtick, this is what you do, this is your trying to take care of your people, make sure that they are well fed, they have good foodstuffs, they're treating themselves, they're flashing their money around. And so paying like $12 for a chicken sandwich with a coleslaw, that you take all the chicken out, so it's literally just a coleslaw sandwich, and you have to pay a full price for just coleslaw and bread, so it's just like, it's not treating yourself, and it's just, so that's why I just default to coffee shops, because I know that I can get coffee. And some places don't have alternative milks, but most places do. But it's just a place where you can go. There's minimal drama, and then you can sit for hours without having, re-up, get another cup of coffee. And a lot of places do not register, because I just do not think of them, because they might have like one vegetarian thing on the menu that's not like phenomenal, so they're just completely off the list. They're not a place to go for like communal activity, for hanging out, and that's weird to some people, I guess. If you do not have an alternative diet, or if you've not tried that as an alternative lifestyle, but you just don't think of those places, and they're just not, they don't register as options. So you've got a couple of places that you can go to, and just a handful compared to like however many. So just a unique lifestyle nuance. I didn't think of it either. I was just like, if I need Wi-Fi, I have to go to the coffee shop. And so somebody literally had to be like, what about McDonald's? And I have used McDonald's Wi-Fi, out of desperation, and they have a great caramel frappe, So I like their coffee. I did like their French fries. Now I have to look at the ingredients yet again. I know that you can get vegetarian. They have oatmeal. You can get that, and then you can ask for it without cream if you want it to be vegan. And so there are options. Obviously, they've got the pies and things, so there are things. But I don't, there are a lot more options if you want sweets, if you want calories, if you want the without the less nutrition. So you can find a lot of vegetarian desserts, but just thinking for that. So that was a unique thing that just came to my attention. Like, why don't you just go to McDonald's? And oh wow, I didn't even think of it. But now I might end up with coffee from McDonald's, and that's totally legit. So I felt like I got a little ranty there. Normally I'm very low key. I don't want to cause a fuss. I don't want to like, it's nice to be invited out and to go out because you don't go out that often. But if you go out, you do want to be treated. And that means having an option on the menu. Like, a couple options would be, ooh, I got 2 things on the menu I can choose from. Eeny, meeny, miny. That one. Or like, versus like an entire menu. So so 2 choices at this place versus, and yeah, but some of those are like sometimes the 2 choices are like so good. Like, if you have like 2 choices, so that even that you still have to experiment, you still have to shop around and figure out what you like and where you want to go. But because like going to like Buffalo Wild Wings, like, or like a steakhouse, you're like, counterintuitive if you're a vegetarian. But if you're going out with family, with friends, like, you don't want to be like, well, I can't go there because we don't have to go to some alternative place just because I'm different. You still want options. And so like Buffalo Wild Wings has a great veggie burger supplement, and like what is it, TGI, I think it's TGI Fridays has a nice, that's not the one I'm thinking of. They had a nice, I think, veggie burger also. So, but like, you just have to shop around and see who has something, and then you have to try it and decide, for yourself if it's good. But there's, oftentimes there's only going to be like 1 or 2 on the menu. There's a burger place that I'm trying to think of that you can supplement with a veggie patty, and then some of the options are so fun. And you can supplement the veggie patty with any of the burgers, and so it's pretty zany, and they have some very nice quality options there too. So even just like having the veggie patty and having a veggie patty that's vegan, and I know it was such a big deal, a scientific breakthrough to have the Beyond Burgers that taste exactly like meat, but I just don't want it to taste like meat, and that's a personal preference. You have personal preferences. But I've been vegetarian for a very long time, and so you kind of get used to it, and you just stop thinking about those places. And so it's good to be called out on that sometimes. Be like, oh, actually, no, we could go there. that place still exists, and they do have options. So there you go. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.